Several cars burn in salvage yard fire. Utah Tech University has a new chief of police. And Jill Paulson explains why a licensed real estate agent is essential in the current market.
You're watching St. George News at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Monica McLaughlin. Emergency personnel quickly extinguished a fire that broke out in a stack of salvaged cars at Dixie Auto Salvage in Washington City on Tuesday. We'll head over to Haven Scott for the full story.
Emergency personnel responding to a report of several cars burning saw 2 engines dispatched by the Washington City Fire Department on Tuesday. Yet only one of the responding engines was needed to quickly douse the blaze that started at approximately 11:45 a.m. Captain Julio Reyes told St. George News that employees at Dixie Auto Salvage on Washington Dam Road were moving cars around the lot when the top one on the stack burst into flames.
Our initial report was a fire out there. Wasn't sure it was on fire. Quickly found out it was 4 or 5 cars on fire is what they told us. The loader was just rearranging the cars like they do regularly. We don't know what caused it, whether it was a battery in one of them or a spark from the equipment. But anyway, the one on top of the stack that they were grabbing, spark caught a fire.
Employees were able to separate the pile of salvaged cars before the fire department arrived, leaving the firefighters with the pile spread out, Reyes noted.
Anyway, they were able to separate them. And then really all we had to deal with was a pile of rubble that was on fire. Not really any cars even.
One salvage worker was treated on scene by Gold Cross ambulance but declined transport to the hospital. No firefighters were injured during the fire suppression efforts, and property damage was limited to salvage cars.
Thanks, Haven. Wes Licalzi has been appointed as the new chief of police for Utah Tech University, continuing his mission to protect, serve, and educate the university community while fostering strong communication and relationships. For a closer look at Chief Licalzi's appointment, here's Bridger Palmer with the story.
Utah Tech University has appointed Wes Licalzi as the new chief of police for the Utah Tech Police Department. Licalzi served as interim chief for 6 months before his full-time appointment. He has a diverse background in law enforcement. He started his career with the sheriff's office in 2008. He worked in jails and correctional facilities before moving to the patrol division. He later joined Utah Tech as a reserve officer. Harkening back to his days with the crisis negotiation unit, one of his most important points is good communication. Overall, he's committed to student safety, he said, offering self-defense classes and setting up a secure exchange area for online transactions. He said that while he will operate the same, he is excited to now be the full-time chief of police at Utah Tech.
Thank you, Bridger. As the Utah Film Commission celebrates a century of filmmaking in the state, Southern Utah University will graduate its first cohort of students with a bachelor's degree in filmmaking in 2024. Here's Haven Scott for the full story.
All of us, in one sense or another, have dreamed about doing this at some point in our lives.
In 2023, the new Bristlecone Hall was officially opened for use on the campus of Southern Utah University, housing the film program. Despite the shiny new studios, dolly tracks, lighting effects, and the latest in sound and video editing technology, Senior Carson Blickenstaff told Cedar City News it is the university's attention to students that he remembers.
But since we do have that equipment, we can really make anything. Like, we could make the best movie possible. Like, we could make anything we want.
On the other hand, SUU senior Gravy Hutchings said all the new equipment for film students was pretty cool too.
It was awesome seeing all this new equipment. We have photography cameras that also double as film cameras. We have like the R5C, so they can be used for photography but also for film. And so it's really awesome to see the capabilities of that camera compared to what I'd been using in the past.
Elias McDaniel, a senior from Orem, found additional passions while pursuing aspirations to become a writer as a freshman.
I'm very passionate still about writing, but I've learned a whole lot about directing, cinematography, and sound and editing that I wouldn't have known if I didn't take this program. If I wasn't here, I wouldn't have dreamt of learning that stuff. And I just love everything about filmmaking now.
It's not the easiest thing to hit play for the world once a project is completed, said senior Megan Newbold.
Scary. It's a little bit nerve-wracking to have other people, see your work. But there's something so satisfying about having your end product, displayed. It's really nice.
McKenna Murphy, a senior from Spanish Fork, said 100 years after the first films were produced in southern Utah in 1924, SUU graduates its first class of film students. SUU Film Facilities Manager Stephen Balsley said the accreditation requirements for a bachelor's degree in film are stringent, limiting the university's cohort sizes to around 20 new students each semester.
Thanks again, Haven. In partnership with Make-A-Wish Utah, Red Cliffs Chartway Credit Union fulfilled 11-year-old Noah Colson's dream of a Disney cruise for his family, announced during the credit union's grand reopening event. We'll go back to Bridger Palmer on how Noah Colson's wish for a Disney cruise became a reality.
The grand reopening of Chartway Credit Union in Washington saw Make-A-Wish Utah announce that because of the credit union's help, they'd be giving another child their wish.
So our foundation partners with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and we're going to grant a wish to a young man today. He doesn't know about it, so we're really excited to see the look on his face when we reveal what he's going to do to him.
Noah Colson has a rare form of muscular dystrophy, a disease that causes progressive weakness and loss of muscle mass. His parents, Spencer and Ann, say that despite his physical limitations, he is mentally tough and determined to engage socially. Daniel Dudley, president and CEO of Make-A-Wish Utah, announced that they'd be granting Noah's wish of going on a Disney cruise with his whole family. His sister, Ellen, has the same condition. Her wish 6 years ago was a trip to Disneyland. When asked what her favorite part was, she replied simply,
everything.
Dudley also recognized the generous help from Chartway Credit Union, as Chartway's Chartway Promise Foundation has helped grant nearly 500 wishes.
Thanks again, Bridger. Now we'll go to Jill Paulson on why a licensed real estate agent is essential in the current real estate market.
Are you looking to buy in St. George, Utah this July? The resale market is competitive, but with the right strategy, you can find your dream home. Now more than ever, it is important to work with a licensed realtor. Realtors can help you find the right property at the right price and help you navigate the complex paperwork and legalities involved in purchasing the home. Don't let the competition deter you. Come back next week for more real estate updates. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Jill. Jen Freebairn, a 5th grade teacher at Diamond Valley Elementary, received the Calvin W. Taylor Outstanding Educator Award for her innovative work in gifted education, including establishing specialized programs at local schools like Riverside Elementary. We'll go to Bridger Palmer again for the details.
Teacher Jen Freebairn was recently honored with the Calvin W. Taylor Outstanding Educator Award by the Utah Association for Gifted Children. Freebairn has been seen as a trailblazer in southern Utah for gifted education, and this award recognizes her contributions. She hopes that her programs equip teachers with the best practices for reaching higher learners and addressing the unique challenges faced by gifted children. She hopes to continue to do more in the future and said that this is her passion.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. I'm Monica McLaughlin with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5.